Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year, and welcome to Unscripted with Chinelo
And Obi.
Wow.
How was the festive time?
It was nice. It was different for me, but it was definitely very busy. Mom busy.
Mom busy. Tell me
Because
about
I
it.
took some of the roles that I would not normally take, like cooking and cleaning and
Oh, you're
all
one
that.
of those that just when it's time for Christmas, you just go away somewhere.
Yeah. And I think I missed that. So I think this is going to be the last time I'm going to be doing it, honestly.
Oh, well, for me, it's the last 3 years or so. I've been the one doing the cooking. And I
it's
think
a lot of cooking.
it's a lot of cooking.
And a lot of food.
2025, I'm joining you.
Yeah,
I'm running away.
We should go away somewhere. Yeah, Dubai maybe.
I don't know.
We can
Dubai,
save for
but
it.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
I think we should be a bit more ambitious in 2025.
Yes.
Yes, we should be a bit more ambitious in 2025. So, hi everyone. Again, welcome. My beautiful friend, it's nice to see you.
What's up?
Yeah, although I get to see you every day on FaceTime.
I know.
But it's so nice to see you, and it's so nice to be here.
I know. I mean, it's a new year. What are the plans? What are we doing with Unscripted?
Unscripted is going to stay unscripted.
Okay.
Rejuvenating.
Okay.
I think I'm expecting it to be to empower me. I think it's going to be
empower us and empower our community that we're building.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I have so much positivity on what we're doing. I think it's a much needed.
I agree.
Space that we're trying to create, and we need the support of everyone. To
yes,
be able to
guys,
this.
Please don't forget to
subscribe.
Not just subscribe, like share, and subscribe.
Yes, on our YouTube channel, on our Instagram page, on
and
our
TikTok page. Thank you.
So we do love the feedback we get from our WhatsApp pages
and
all that. But we need people to be commenting on our YouTube on our YouTube page.
Yes, guys, please. Thank you for all the WhatsApp you send us and all of that. But please leave your comments on our pages.
Yes.
That would help our pages grow as well. And also, what was that? That would help our pages grow too. So yes, please leave your comments. The next thing I wanted to say is, so we have our email address. It is unscriptedwithneloandobi@gmail.com. We would love your, if there's anything you want us to talk about, ideas, we're learning as we go, and we would love your feedback as well. And we would love, if there's anything you want us to talk about, just let us know. And please send us an email at unscriptedwithneloandobi@gmail.com. So what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so before we get into our topic today, I actually wanted us to talk about, in fact, to let you understand how much it means to us when you drop those comments. We really love it. Actually, it gives us the that we need, in this journey that we've decided to take. So to start off, I thought we could just read a few of the comments we have on our YouTube channel.
Who would have thought, right?
I know, right? So I thought we'd read a few comments, and that will ease us into our conversation today. So one of the comments from, now you see, as you're getting older, you need your glasses, isn't it? So someone said, I'm so excited to know more about this podcast. Well, you stay tuned, that you're going to hear more and discover more about the conversations that we're going to be having in this space.
Yes.
Someone said, this is quite interesting. Someone said, well-needed space. Thank you, ladies, for providing this opportunity for the misrepresented majority of women. I think that really strikes a chord. And that definitely was one of the reasons why we actually started this podcast, which is we didn't feel, like we talked in our first episode, we didn't really feel in the space where we're at that we could relate to the conversations that were being had.
I agree.
We felt like we can create our own space where we can share relatable content.
It's that thing about representation, mattering, representation matters. And that's the reason why we just literally decided to take the bull by the horn and do this. And I'm glad we did, because aside from these comments and the ones we get on our WhatsApp, it's it's been uplifting us as well, you
Yeah.
know, when we look back at what we've filmed. So as Chinelo mentioned, there's also a comment here that says, bravo, you took action. And I know this is going to grow immensely.
Amen.
Amen. And thank you for that comment. Yes. And I think that would tie us into what we're going to talk about today in taking action. Yeah. So in our first one, when we introduced ourselves, so our first episode, we mentioned that we own our businesses. And so today we're going to really, I guess, talk about what it means to be an entrepreneur, taking the bull by the horn and going at it. And so I'll say, Chinelo, why did you decide to start?
So I think
Kuma?
It's not just about being an entrepreneur. I think it's also about being an entrepreneur later on in life. A lot of people, or at least in my journey personally, I find that a lot of entrepreneurs started off early in life, like, you know, in their 20s or when they were in uni, and then, you know, like progressed and, you know, experimented in their early 20s. Yeah. Some became successful, of course, some don't, and then they have the chance to do something else. Yeah. But for me personally, obviously, growing up, business was not that thing that your parents wanted you after sending you to university to go and do. Like, they're not thinking, you're not going to come back and say after studying. So for example, I studied veterinary medicine. So there was no way I was going home saying, oh, I want to go and start my own business. Like, my African father would not even have fathomed. All he wanted is that, oh, his child is now in a vet doctor and he's going to open a clinic and she's going to be this and that. And it wasn't really about what you wanted to do, right? And I also think that, you know, from my own experience as well, growing up, and I think it's maybe the African thing where, you know, as a lady, when you're young and you go to uni, once you finish uni, the next expectation for you is to get married. So again, building a business, starting a business is never something that I thought about, because I felt like, from just my environment and everything around me was like, now you finish uni, the next thing for you to do is get a job, get married and have children, and, you know, and the rest, and live happily ever after.
If only.
But we know that life is definitely different. So
Absolutely.
That was like the beginning of my own life experience. So business was never in the offering at all. It was never something that I thought I could even think of or do.
That's interesting you say that. It's totally different for me.
Really?
And different because my mom had a business.
Okay.
So growing up, we have, you know, we didn't have, like everyone has, you know, your phones and everything accessible to you now. So we had a business center.
Okay.
And it was from that business center that I picked up a lot of soft skills, you know, my siblings and I. And we used to man my mom's business, and, you know, photocopying, typing, and all of that. So business was something that I saw growing up. My parents were always, my father was in the Navy, but he also, when he left the Navy, when he retired, he started, I think we owned the first shop that had the Kodak cameras. You know, we owned I think, if I'm right, in Surulere, I think so. So we used to do like wait and get pictures and all of that. Then also we now added the business center aspect of it, where we did photocopy, you know, as I mentioned. So I saw that. And I also had an uncle who used to travel a lot, you know, doing business. So I saw a lot of that, even though we went to, I think it was the case of, even though, you go to university and all of that, if you wanted to branch out and do something else, you're encouraged to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you think that it's primarily your upbringing that had inspired you? Because for me, I wasn't really surrounded by business people. You know, my dad was a civil servant, my mom was a teacher. Maybe that had kind of inspired my early thoughts around, like, business wasn't the thing that they would envision for me to do, and so it wasn't something I thought I could do myself.
Possibly, it could be, but going back to the question I said I asked at the beginning. So, having done that, why did you decide, you know what, I'm going to start Kumo London now?
So, you know, like I said, it wasn't always something I had really thought about. I think what happened in my journey through life is, you know, moved to this country, had a great job. I loved my job so well. But as I got older, especially
Tell
as I was
them what you do.
No.
She doesn't
What
like
do I do? I'm an epidemiologist.
She doesn't like to mention it.
Why not? I do actually. I do love what I do. I'm an
Chinelo
epidemiologist.
is a scientist. she decided. I mean, listen, brag on yourself.
No, it's not about no. Well, let's tie it back into business, really.
Yeah.
So day job, fantastic. But I didn't feel, how, like as I was getting towards 40, I think it was that getting towards 40 and thinking, how do I want my life? What do I want about my life post 40, post growing up, post being, when I get older? What is it? Have I actually done the things I as a person want to do in life that will make me feel good about myself when I wake up in the morning? I felt like, waking up, going to work was great, but it wasn't, I didn't feel like I was adding any value. Again, if you work in a big company, you can't really see the value that you bring in that company because you're going by the company objectives. It might not be really what the values of the company might not reflect your own personal values, but you do them because you've got to pay your bills and you've got to keep your life going.
True.
So I think I got to that point in my life as I was nearing 40 where I thought there's something that I need to do, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but I would discover it, and that led me into discovering like what exactly do I think I love and passionate about that can add value.
For me, business. I think because I started a little later, so as I mentioned earlier in our first podcast, I'm into project management, and I started in that area and I was enjoying it. But I think the light bulb moment came for me in 2020 during COVID. So I'd always wanted to do my own business. But it's that thing about procrastination and I guess finding where to start. So 2020, COVID hit and I thought, okay, a lot of people lost their jobs. I mean, where I was working, they let go of a lot of people. And for me, it was a moment where I realized the safety net of a permanent job is no longer safe.
Yeah.
So it was a case of what do I have in my hands? What can I use? What do I have? How can I? Because of a lot of things were happening then, aside from people losing their lives, unfortunately, a lot of people were jobless.
Yeah. So
I realized, if your name is not on that door, man, it go hard. So it was a case of, okay, what can I do? What does the world need? And the truth is, I really don't think there's nothing new under the sun.
No, I always say that everything, very, very few things are inventions, very, very few.
I agree.
They are always like a modification of something that's already existing. And if you really, really dig deep, those things have already been done before.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just, like modifying, doing a little bit of tweaking here and there, but very few things are really, really,
So I thought to myself, okay, what is that thing that I like? What is that thing that I understand? And I thought, you know what? I came to this country and I've always had issues with tights.
Okay.
Tights. It's either for black-skinned women, it's either black or some crazy color of brown.
I know that.
And I moaned about this thing for so long. My sister got tired of hearing it and she said, just do your own
Create your own.
And now, then it was during COVID, I thought, okay, let me just even do research. So I researched and I found out that aside from one or two, there's really nothing there. And I thought, you know what? Okay, I will throw my hat in this ring and I guess swim the waters with the rest of, the shapewear brand and the tights brand out there and do something. And that's how Ojioma started.
So it was because of the circumstances around COVID that allowed you to sit down and actually think about like what else, given that 9-to-5 job that we thought the job security could in essence, be taken away from you.
Absolutely. And you have nothing else to fall back on.
That's interesting.
And
that
even,
was your journey.
Yeah, because even though you have, you have the savings or whatever, it would deplete if there's nothing to add to it.
Yeah.
So for me, it was that thing of, okay, there's literally no job security anymore. What can one do where you're getting paid daily? I believe Warren Buffett said, you have to figure out that thing that makes you money in your sleep.
Yeah. I think that's that was a powerful phrase as well that I go by every day in my businesses. So my business affords me the comfort, if I would say, of knowing that I could be sleeping and still be earning, which is a very powerful position to be in. Or, if you had a side hustle, whether it's something you're passionate about or something that, it's something that you can monetize at any time, basically.
So the question I'll ask you now is, what are the challenges you faced?
When I first started. Or
when you first started and still have.
When I first started, I think for me, because again, the way I started business wasn't something I had thought, planned. It was just something that, again, came to me as a case. For me, it was more like a legacy thing. You're getting to 40. Everything you've done up until this point is about every other person. You get married, you support your husband to be able to build his career. And I just felt like this emptiness, and I wanted something more. I felt like I could deliver something more than I was doing at the time.
Okay.
So I went into it and in everything I do with my life, is that I jump in with both legs, both hands, which honestly is not like the best thing to do, but for me, I'm a risk taker, and I never see failure as failure. I see failure as an opportunity to learn something.
Absolutely.
So even though I go in full, like with my two legs in, if I break them, I find the clutches to come out. I find a way to be able to rise above.
That's good. That's taking action. That's doing it afraid.
It's doing it afraid, and just knowing that it's not going to be rosy on the other side. So I never really go into anything. And again, it goes back to the conversation we had about closure, where I never go into anything with any expectations, like feeling like, I'm going to win, I'm going to succeed.
Oh, but that's different for me.
Really? No, I don't. I go in, and anything that comes out of it is what is meant to come out of it.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I just go in, and again, life is an experiment, and there are certain things you can't control. Business is one of those. No one knew COVID was going to hit. I remember at that time when COVID hit, getting to my house, then we're not called Kumu London. My business was called ATM Collections, and I was just thinking, like, what are we going to do? We've just released a new collection. Everyone is staying home. No one is wearing clothes, and I was so like, maybe this is the end. But then that was actually the beginning of the business, to be honest, because that was when the spotlight actually was on a lot of small business owners, especially black-owned business owners in the UK, right?
True.
So again, going with my own experience from when I started, it was rough, if rough is a word, rough in capital letters, like really, really rough, tough. I didn't even know where to start. At that time, I didn't know anyone who, like me, who had registered a business in the UK, who operated a business in the UK that was successful. I hadn't seen that. Remember, coming from my experience, no experience of like how to run a business, how to register one, how to do. The only examples I had were like the big high street stores that don't have any, like, the name but you don't know the owner kind of thing. So you go in with this whole objective, I want to be as big as, you call one big company that is in, like, makes billions in revenue, generates billions in revenue every year, and you're like, that's my goalpost.
But you know that goalpost.
You don't know what it took to get there.
Word.
So it's rough. It's tough. But it's the persistence for me, and the consistency for me, and the diligence, the putting it first before everything else, and just somebody once asked me, and they said, what would you advise somebody who wants to decide, okay, you know what, I want to start my business, I want to be an entrepreneur? And I remember laughing, and I said, don't do it. Really? And the guy used to say, no, jokes aside, it's when I say don't do it,
a part of me wants to say don't do it, because if you're not ready to make some losses, in fact, make losses, there's no sum. If you're not ready to make losses, if you're not ready to be disappointed, if you're not ready to be, what's the word now? To just feel, did I do the right thing? You know, am I sure? In fact, one word, if you're not ready to, should I say, fail and pick yourself back up,
fail multiple times,
then don't do it.
Yeah,
that's, I guess, where I'm coming from, because for me, the business aspect of it, like I said, I remember I called my mom and I said to my mom, I said, Mommy, when you had your business, if you were not selling or you don't have customers, what do you do? She said, my dear, what would I do? I will pray. I'll pray, then I'll go around my customers to just remind them that I'm here. You know, is there any way we can help you? Is there anything you know? I just reminded them that I'm here, because after a while, the competition became rife. And that's the thing. How do you let people know that, okay, I'm here, I'm doing this, I have great products and all of that, you know? Because I asked this question because I sat down one day and I thought, Ojioma is not Ojioma, it's not giving what it's supposed to be given, you know? And I know I have great products. So that was a bit of a disappointment. But also, one of the things I've loved about our friendship, oh my goodness. You see, that's why it's good, you know, when Chinelo was just here now saying, oh, I didn't see anybody who had done it or who did this, who did that. But Chinelo met me and she goes, babe, you go blow. In fact, not be you go blow, you must blow.
No, yeah, see, honestly, business is not for the soft, it's not even for, but again, I go with my personal mantra, which is, again, it's that doing it without even knowing what's on the other side of the door. Because who's to say that when you open the door, it's not going to be roses? You don't know.
You don't know.
Right?
True.
And so, you know, like when you're saying, like, you know, do it afraid, not do it afraid, but like, you know, if you're not ready to take the hard blow, to take the failures and stuff. If, for example, God forbid, something sad happens in your life, you know, God throws you a big stone, you know. I feel that God doesn't throw you a stone that you cannot chest.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's no stone that you chest that is not supposed to hurt, right?
True.
So once it hurts, and you feel the impact of that weight. What God is testing is your strength and resilience, your to capacity. Be able to move, and He's going to be chucking you with stones for as much as you're building the muscles, right? And if you think about it, when you go to the gym, you don't carry 50 kg on the first day, right? You carry 2 kilos, and after a week, me personally, what I do, like after a week, I add 100 grams or 1 kilo, and it goes 2.5, and then 3, and with that comes the sweating as well, because as you're carrying it, the sweat, the heavy breathing. So I apply that to every area of my life.
That's a good one.
You know, like every disappointment for me, I always find where are the roses in this trauma, in this.
That brings me to what you said about expectation. I always go into, so my expectation in going into my business is, it will succeed.
Yes, it has to.
It doesn't have a choice.
Yeah,
it will succeed.
I tell you that every day, right?
and as much as, like I say, Chinelo has been an absolute, in fact, I don't know, with regards to business, as well as my sister Patience. She started her own business as well. And I saw and I thought, hey, who send me? And she could be like, don't worry, you go there, okay.
You'll be fine.
You know, just keep going. And so the area of starting your own business or doing you know, doing not just your business, trying something new, like we did with this podcast.
Yeah, you start something, you fail, fine. You start again, right? You do something, you don't get it the way you wanted to do it, you just go back to the drawing board.
Exactly.
Now, I also apply a lot of my scientific background to my business as well. So I always love to look at the data, and I always try to analyze the data and use that to propel me to the next thing. So everything you're going to throw into your business is never going to work. Some of the things you're going to throw in, you're going to think would work, but when you go into the field, it doesn't work. You know, you talked about, you did your research and all that, right? So it's about for the little ones that have worked, because something has worked.
Something has
Right?
worked, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's about the little things that have worked. How
Yeah.
can we amplify it going
Yes,
into the next
yes,
phase
yes.
of this business, right? 'Cause
Absolutely.
again, when I think about business and running my own business, I always look at it from like,
Ooh.
I encompass everything. We failed in influencer marketing, but then we gained traction in this kind of marketing.
Oh.
We failed in organic content creation, but we gained traction in X. So how can we amplify this one and then not focus so much on the other one? It could be products. You remember when I had the disaster in the summer with one of the products, right?
Yeah.
The product became the best-selling product, and now I'm thinking about, okay, how can we? Now I know that people really like this kind of product. How can I bring more of that product into the market, into my business, rather than the ones I'm thinking will do well? That kind of thing. It's a lot of juggling in business. It's a lot of learning. It's a lot of crying. A lot of screaming.
I think the bottom line is, I don't think we're going to exhaust this topic. Maybe we would come back to it, some other time. But I think the bottom line is, the message we're trying to say is, it's not about age.
No, it's not about age. And can I just add, in terms of age, again,
Feel the fear and do it.
Yeah, what is most important in business for me, is you have to know your why. And your why, I talk about this why thing. Your why, which is the reason why you're doing something, has to be really strong. It has to be so strong. It's almost like a tsunami that when you think of quitting, you can't. Which is why I say to you that you go blow. Because the reason why Ojioma exists, the reason why that shapewear exists, there's a reason why it exists. It exists to serve women with body confidence issues. Every woman has a body confidence issue.
It's not.
I go to the gym every single. Well, I work out every single time, not because I'm overweight, but I always feel like, oh, this fold is here. This young, my thing is Aka Christian mother and all sorts of stuff, right? So we all have that, and there's something that makes women feel more confident. You see makeup, you see shapewear, you see clothing, right? They uplift women. They make them feel good about themselves.
Absolutely.
And in this industry, because you're creating that value, people will navigate to you. The only obstacle is finding them, or them finding you.
Yes.
Right? It's for them to find you. So it's then about positioning yourself strategically so you get found. Right? Yeah. So this topic is a very huge one.
It's broad.
It's very broad. But I think the key message here for us, on which we wanted to highlight, this is January.
Yes.
A lot of people are probably thinking about, what else can I do? Or my business is not doing well, I want to stop. Or this business I've been talking about for the past 2 years, I want to start. Or, different things. And I'm here to say, if you have it in you,
do it.
Start.
Take action.
Yeah, and there can be limitations in terms of funding and all sorts, but just start and stay consistent. And then stay persistent.
That's it. And also I think it's also somebody once said to me, are you interested or are you committed? There's a difference. You can be interested and not committed. So be committed. For those, I think the only thing I'm going to drop here quickly is, for those that want to start a business where it's product based, be very careful about MOQ. MOQ is minimum order quantity. Do not go and get a minimum order quantity that you're not going to be able to shift. Because it will just be
your money.
What they call that thing? Stock, whatever.
Stockpiling?
No, dead stock.
Oh, dead stock. Okay.
But anyway, like I said, guys, this is a broad topic that we can't exhaust in one episode. So we're going to jump on this again soon. We'll let you guys know when, but we're going to jump on, and hopefully when we jump on it again, we'll have another point of view from somebody else, invite somebody who is also an entrepreneur that can give their own side as well.
Yeah, definitely. We should save this one.
Yeah.
We should save this, come back to it later, cook it a little bit more. But man, I guess two powerhouses in small business ownership in the UK. We've got so much to give.
Yes.
So
guys, thank you. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, leave a comment. And take action.
Most importantly, take action. It's 2025, guys.
Yes.
Take action. That thing you want to do, go do it.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.